And welcome back to the Financially Simple Experience. Let's continue our conversation around marketing, but before we do, I have a confession that I must make to you. Yes, yours truly, the one, the only, Justin, as someone called me, the business guy, often makes a mistake. I am guilty of spending many times large sums of money on a hope, on a dream, on a thought, on an idea, on an aspiration, on whatever word you want to put there. If I believe it can help our company advance, if I believe it'll help our customers or clients advance, I will spend money. Now, I follow normal budgetary processes, knowing roughly the ranges that each major segment of our business should fall into. But there's one area of our business that I have a tendency to spend more money on than any other, and that is the area of marketing. Marketing. See, I have this firm belief that I am not in the business advisory or financial advisory business. That's not the business I'm in. I'm in a sales business. Ultimately, I'm selling me. I'm selling our team. I'm selling our processes, our product, our services. We're selling us. And candidly, if you take a hard look at it, you're the same. You're selling, sure, you maybe have a widget or product or service that you're known for, but ultimately, you're selling you. You see, it's been said that people do business with those whom they know, trust, and like. So at the end of the day, we, business owners, are selling ourselves. It's no wonder that the endorsement market has taken off. Now we call them influencers. But, growing up, it wasn't anything to see. And even now, to see some sort of a superstar, whether it's a sports athlete or a movie star or a politician or maybe a big business executive who's endorsing some product or service, hoping that they can sell that product or service to us. But in my confession, I got to be honest with you, I have a tendency to overspend in the area of marketing. I'm reminded that Apple, the company who I often like to pick on because of their products, but Apple nonetheless is a $1 trillion company, with a T. But yet they spend billions, with a B, of dollars per year on marketing. Now think about this. If Apple, arguably one of the strongest companies of our generation, if they're willing to spend a significant portion of money on marketing, whenever just about everybody in the known world knows who Apple is, then how do we, as business owners, need to stack up? As part of my confession, I have to dive a little deeper, though. When I confess the fact that I spend money, I often get frustrated with the amount of money I spend. It's a vicious cycle. I actually wrote that in my book, and someone was arguing that there's no such thing as a vicious cycle. Every business owner would know there's things called a vicious cycle. It's a vicious cycle, nonetheless. I'll spend money expecting something. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and I get either elated or frustrated, and then I'll repeat. See, marketing is one of those things that's very fluid, very fluid. In fact, just this morning, I was having a discussion with an expert marketing firm, and we were talking about how marketing has changed not over a decade, but over the last months, plural. Months. It's this dynamic area, phase of our business that if we're not careful, it can quickly become a severe pain point, in that we throw dollars to chase a problem. So as we dive into marketing a little deeper, I want to discuss 5 trends that can make my marketing and your marketing more effective. Because that's what we want, after all, isn't it? We want our dollars, our soldiers that we deploy, we want them to return to us a good investment. A good return on investment. So there are 5 trends that I'm seeing right now that we can consider as we're discussing marketing and as we begin diving into this subject just a little deeper, that if we open up our eyes and we strategically think through these 5 trends, it could help us increase our return on investment. The first trend is innovation or evolution. As I mentioned, I was talking with a marketing firm just this morning, and they said, Justin, here's what's transpired over the last few months. Now, in some parts of our business, let's say technology, it may take a year or two for them to change or evolve or for innovation to catch up, while others may be decades or centuries in nature. I mean, if you think about it, we're probably not going to innovate anything better than a wheel. I mean, the wheel like goes round and round on a car, the actual circle, it's been around for perhaps millennia, and there's really not that much more you can innovate in terms of a wheel, the actual circle. Now we can evolve it a little bit, and we can put different treads or different airs or different materials to make the wheel work better or work for a particular application, but the wheel itself is pretty much set. Marketing's not that way. See, change is occurring everywhere around us. In order for us to stay pristine in our marketing efforts, and in order for us to get the return on investment that we truly need, we need to constantly be looking for innovation. Let's go back to Apple. Apple is known as the innovation company. They're constantly delivering new products to new markets. Now, if you know anything about business, that is extremely hard to do, to deliver new products to new markets. Oftentimes we'll deliver old products to new markets or new products to old customers, but very seldom we go new and new. It's just a very difficult business model, but yet Apple is doing it. In our own business models, we can take a step back and we can look and say, where can we innovate in terms of our marketing? Now, we have to couch everything with one certain light. Let's not forget our mission and our vision and our values. See, in business, whenever we begin chasing dollars, many times we lose sight of what we're ultimately trying to do. So if we understand our mission statement, our value statement, and our core values in our business, then our marketing can evolve, but it will never evolve past what our core principles are. It's truly a dichotomy, friends. It's one that we want to continue to push forward, but we don't want to push in such a way that it changes the flavor or the culture or the ethos of the very business that we're seeking to maneuver. So the very first thing I'm going to challenge you with is think innovative. Innovatively would be the word. Think innovatively. Think about evolution. If you're still doing the same marketing you were doing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, chances are you have missed something. Chances are your dollars are not returning what you need them to do. Another trend that's available for us as we're thinking about marketing is market research. So we're in the process of helping about 7 business owners right now get to the point to where we're in transition mode. We have qualified buyers. We're working with bankers and lawyers. And these clients we've been working with now for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, depending on which one. And we've been driving the value of their company up through the things that we teach on a day in, day out basis here in the office and through the podcast. As we're working through this process, we're developing a pitch book. You can read about that in The Ultimate Sell. I read that book a few years ago, but we're developing a pitch book. It's very similar to a business plan. In fact, in one of our companies, we're actually developing a business plan so that during the transition to a key employee, the bank is comfortable knowing what the key employee is going to do to continue for the continuation of the business once they become the owner. And inside the pitch book or the business plan, there's one little area about market research. And if I leave it to a business owner to fill that in, many times it's thin. There's no substance to it. My challenge to you is this. Do some market research. Look at information through the lens of technology. See, we're in the information age. Google anything on your smartphone, as you well know, and you can find the answer within a few seconds. But let's change the market research from self-serving as we may consider in a business plan, and let's look at it from our customers' eyes. Customers also have more research capabilities than ever before. How are they viewing your company? What advantages are you placing out in front of your customers they're researching to help them make the decision that your firm, your company, your business is the one they should hire? See, if you understand the mind of your targeted consumer, their strengths, weaknesses, fears, the problems that they have surmounting in their lives, then you can use market research to coin or draft your message so it directly hits them. Before I go any further, you may be saying, well, Justin, I've hired a marketing firm to do this. A marketing firm cannot do what I'm describing to you. A marketing firm many times doesn't fully grasp what we're trying to accomplish. They're not in the trenches with us working with our customers day in, day out. No, that's not the way a marketing firm works. So in your particular case, do a little research yourself. Put yourself in the customer's shoes. You say, I don't know how to do that. Great. Then interview a couple of your customers. Maybe you take your best customers and your worst customers. We all have them. And you see, what is it that they're desiring? What is it that they're seeking to accomplish? But look at the lens of market research through their eyes. See, if we can measure it through their eyes using market research, then now we can use this technology, this innovation, this trend to help improve our marketing budgets, to help improve our return on investment. Another one we can deal with is electronic data. Now, I want to take this from a little different standpoint. Your customers are researching you. You should be researching them. But your marketing team or the firm that you've engaged, now they've got to understand the value of the internet. And this is where advertising has drastically changed over the last 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, if not decade. See, whenever I first came in the business, in order to grow a business, what you would do is you would do lunch and learns. We call them lick-a-plate dinners is what I call them. You would rent out a restaurant, you pay for a bunch of people's meals, you get one person who's interested, everybody else was there to get a free meal, and you let them go away. And hopefully the idea is that the people who got a free meal would turn around and recommend their friends to you because you gave them something. And for a period of time, that methodology worked. The problem was this: time and money. I don't know about you, but I always wanted a business that could work while I'm not working. And in every company that we assist, there's almost a way to do this. I was arguing, and I'm using that word very purposefully, I was arguing with a customer of ours who's engaged us to increase the value of their company. And I was arguing this point that we need to build the system where it's working when you're not working. And their response was immediately, almost like non-thinking, it can't be done. The only way we make money is if I work, which wasn't the case. They were missing the point. Now, they did have some credibility in the fact that they were, quote, a producer, a technician that could only do this one project. But they were missing the fact that what they were doing is while they were a technician, they were focused in on that area. Then whenever they weren't being the technician, they were trying to run all the other systems. So we said, look, let's use the power of the internet. Let's use its value. You see, it's predicted that 46% of all advertising in 2021 is done through video advertising and email marketing. Funneling is what we call it. Funnel hacking, if you will. If we can grasp the value of a true funnel, that while we're sleeping, it's impacting somebody across our planet that could be interested in our product. If we can understand that, then we can turn the internet into a powerful machine. In order to use the internet, then we have to have value. We have to use content. Now, through the Financially Simple portal, we use video and we use blogs and we use emails and we use various other types of social media in order to create value content. And we're doing that in order to engage our targeted demographic, our targeted frazzle frank. We want to, or frantic franny as I call them, We want to engage them, let them realize that, hey, we may not have all the answers, but we know where to go to find the answers, and we can help you drastically increase your net worth. We can do that. And so as we push into this area of using trends, friends, we need to be aware of the true value of evergreen content. That's a new term I just threw at you. Content that once it sits on the web is constantly working to target our perfect customer while we're sleeping, while we're working, while we're driving, while we're on vacation. It is working to bring us a value in our marketing department, give us ultimately a nice return on investment. But so many business owners don't think of the internet this way. In fact, many are scared of the internet. The internet's a tool. So that's a trend that we can capitalize on to help us bridge the value within our marketing segment. A fourth trend is this. There is a rapid movement of dollars happening in every demographic right now. They call it the gray tsunami. And this gray tsunami is where baby boomers are now reaching that retirement age, and many are seeking to move into retirement. The numbers are just dismal at this point. There are more people retiring every single day or leaving their businesses than any other time in history. It's called the gray tsunami. If we understand this disruption that's happening right now, then we can capture this trend of market share. We can use disruption within the marketplace to make our dollars more effective for us. So I'll give you an example. Last year, 2020, the apocalyptic year. I've laughed about it a little bit since then. Now, during the year, I know so many people were hurting, and many people still are for that matter. But there was one day in East Tennessee where there was closures happening. A tiger was loose in the town of Knoxville, and an airplane landed in the middle of our 4-lane interstate, all within the same day. It was bizarre. It was like, man, is this really happening? During the year 2020, there was a great disruptor that happened. The disruptor was people, potentially your customers, were sent home. Not only were they sent home, but they were asked to do something more than likely they had never done before, to be just as productive working from home as they were in a location. Remote work became a norm. And in fact, it's such a norm at this point that we're seeing trends even disrupted in the commercial real estate space because of this disruption. As we're seeing disruption, like work from home, you can capitalize your mind saying, how can I use my dollars to get in front of or be a part of this disruption so that it can benefit our small business, the ecosystems which we've created? It's a different methodology, a different way of thinking. It's a trend, if you will. Now, friends, we dealt with a disruption last year in 2020, but if you go back in your mind's eye, if you do any type of research whatsoever, you'll realize that just about every year there is a disruption that occurs which directly affects your targeted customer. And so if we could keep our eyes open for this disruption and we realize that we're truly in the marketing business, then the trend is we can use the disruption to hyper-target our key customers where they're at during disruption to get their eyes pointed at our solution to their problems. That is a trend. Now, many business owners don't think this way. And candidly, if I'm being completely transparent, many marketing firms don't think the way that I just described. No, we set something and we forget it. And thus, our return on acquisition, our acquisition costs of our dollars that we deploy through marketing are ill-effective. The fifth thing I want to look at is I want to take our marketing and make everything tied to a profit number. Put everything that we're doing, directly tie it to a return on investment. And it sounds easy to do, in practicality, it's very difficult. In order to do what I'm describing, and this is a trend that's happening, technology is allowing this more and more. And if you're working with a chief CMO, chief marketing officer, or you're working with a marketing firm who's cutting edge, and they're already working with technology to help us in this area. But ultimately, what we're trying to do is we're trying to take every particular action that we describe in our marketing efforts and connect it with a dollar format. In our company, Heritage Investors, which is where many clients start off as, they go through personal financial planning first, especially business owners. We got to nail down that first. We can't even work on the business until the home front is done. People ask me, why is that, Justin? Well, because if you try to focus on the business first, inevitably you're going to limit your constraints because the home front is never addressed. You end up using too many resources to deal with the home front. So we always start with financial planning first. So through our marketing efforts, our laser-focused, frazzled, frank marketing efforts, we have systems, funnels, processes to where when somebody is interested in the type of work that we do comprehensively through financial planning, all the way up to employer-sponsored plans, all the way up to business consulting and investment management, various things. Whenever we get to this, whenever someone's interested, we walk them through a series of funnels so that we can track where each prospective customer came from. And thus we can look and see how much dollars we deploy there and what was the return of those dollars. If we can create connectivity between profit and our marketing, what ends up happening is higher sales rates, higher customer retention. But here's the key. In order for us to track or create profitability with our marketing, we have to integrate, if you will, like wheels on a cog, like cogs on a wheel, I should say. We have to integrate the sales department. The sales team, those individuals who are working within your jurisdiction, within your sales territory, who are making the calls, who are following up, we have to integrate the sales department with the marketing department. Now, it's a trend that we're seeing. We're seeing it more and more because of technology. We're seeing more and more the ability for us to tighten our numbers to create a lower cost of acquisition for our business and higher retention rates. But nonetheless, if we're not thinking in terms of creating profit-oriented marketing, then we're wasting our dollars. As I stated earlier, my confession is I like to throw dollars at something, sometimes on a whim, sometimes on a test. And do they always work? No. But more often than not, because we have our systems, our processes, and our people and our sales team and our profitability pulled together, more often than not, we're breaking even. Some of them have multiplicative effects. Some of them are break even. Now, do they all break even? No, but it works. And so now as we're going through this jungle of marketing, we're trying to determine what is the most effective at this moment. Now, here's my caution to you. Here's the practical application. Oftentimes we want to do the best thing and the best thing only. Marketing is not a laser beam focused strategy. It's a scattergun. It's a shotgun approach. If you know anything about guns, a rifle will shoot one bullet, whereas a shotgun could have, dozens, if not hundreds of pieces of material that fly out to cover a pattern. Whenever I go hunting, I'm getting ready to go to the Rocky Mountains to do an elk hunt with some clients. I'm looking forward to it. It's a hunt with Justin that comes up, by the way. If you're interested in next year, 2022, we'll have a hunt with Justin again, and perhaps you want to go hunting with me. It's a great time. We typically spend 10 to 12 days in the Rocky Mountains, and a select group of clients go, and some other individuals that often are interested in working with us, want to get to know me or our team better, could go. But we're going to go elk hunting. I think it's a challenge. It's very tough. There's only about a 20% success rate from where we go in the country. Elk hunting is hard. And if all I was going for was elk, then of course I'm going to see a lot of things. Last year I saw porcupines. It was pretty cool. I've never seen one before till last year. It wasn't cool when they started almost chasing us, but I saw some. I saw grouse. I'd never seen rough grouse before. I mean, these things were amazing, and blue grouse. Saw mule deer, saw bear, black and grizzly bears last year. I saw buffalo, saw moose. I mean, just amazing things. We saw mountain lions and wolves. We saw so many things out that I just don't get to see here on the East Coast. The same strategy works in marketing. You may be going after that elk, but if all you're looking for is elk, you're going to miss so many other opportunities. So as you're looking at marketing, as we dive into the subject, I realize that it can often be one of our banes of frustration in our business, knowing that we pour X number of dollars into the marketing plan and often don't see the results that we truly want to see. I'm giving you 5 trends that are happening in the marketing world right now that you can use and work with your marketing company, your marketing team internally or externally, to try to make your dollars more effective. Now, if you don't know how to do this, if you need more hands-on, reach out to us. This is what we do. We can help you. We can work with your team to help you build extreme value in your business. Friends, I say it every week, life is hard, but life is good. Man, we're so stinking blessed. It's not even funny. Life is good. And it can be frustrating. Marketing can be frustrating. It doesn't have to be. Let's continue to make our lives at least financially simple. Y'all go out and make it a great day.